Welcome back to Reading with Miss B, boys and girls. Today we're going to be reading a story called Dog Breath, the Horrible Trouble with Halitosis. Boys and girls, this story is about a dog who has horrible, stinking, dreadful breath. In fact, it causes so many problems, and it's about to result in this dog being rehomed. Do you know what that means? Do you know what it means to rehome a pet or an animal? Rehoming means giving an animal up or giving an animal away because you no longer want it or can take care of it. And so because of Halitosis' bad breath and all of the problems that it causes for this family who has the dog, they're going to give it away until something happens and Halitosis' bad breath ends up being good for something. I can't imagine what her bad breath would be good for, but whatever it takes to save this animal from being rehomed and confused and sad, I'm glad that it does happen. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this story. Get into a comfy position. The pictures are adorable. This dog is adorable. The only thing wrong with this book, or I shouldn't say wrong with this book, but the only thing bad about this book is the breath of the dog. Ha! Okay, let's get started. And the story was written by Dav Pilkey. Dav Pilkey, boys and girls, as you know, is a famous author. So Dav Pilkey, boys and girls, is the author of all of the Dog Man books. So I'm sure you've enjoyed. I'm sure you'll enjoy this story as well. Dog Breath, the Horrible Trouble with Halitosis. There once was a dog named Hallie who lived with the Tossis family. Halitosis was a very good dog, but she had a big problem. What is the Tossis family doing, boys and girls? They're plugging their nose because, oh, what do you see? Coming out of her mouth, that is bad breath, that green foul that's coming out of her breath. Halitosis had horrible breath. Whenever Halitosis opened her mouth, horrible things happened. And as you can see, even the painting, the Mona Lisa painting in their living room, the Mona Lisa's plugging her nose. Ha! So funny. And what's happened to the fish? The fish is turned upside down because of Halitosis' bad breath. And look at their house plant. What other horrible things are happening because of Halitosis' bad breath? Take a look at the picture. When the children took Halitosis for a walk, everyone else walked on the opposite side of the street. Even skunks avoided Halitosis. You know there's a big problem if a skunk is avoiding you. Poor Halitosis. Look at that green goppy breath that's coming out of her mouth. Everyone's plugging their nose. Even the baby in the carriage is plugging their nose. But the real trouble started one day when Grandma Tossis stopped by for a cup of tea. Hallie jumped up to say hello. Oh, it doesn't look like Grandma liked that very much. Look what's happening to her tea. And look at all the breath. Oh, needs to be eating some bones or some greenies, I think. There's all sorts of things they could do. They should probably be brushing Hallie's teeth, don't you think? Mr. and Mrs. Tossis were not amused. Something has to be done about that smelly dog. How about you brush its teeth, right, boys and girls? Give them some bones. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Tossis decided to find a new home for Hallie. The children knew that the only way they could save their dog was to get rid of her bad breath. So they took Halitosis to the top of a mountain that had a breathtaking view. They hoped that the breathtaking view would take Hallie's breath away. Ha! Get it? Breathtaking view, taking someone's breath. But it didn't. Next, the children took Halitosis to a very exciting movie called Breath of a Salesman, starring Perry O'Donnell and Gingivitis. Ha ha! Get it? Gingivitis? That's something that you get if you don't brush your teeth and take care of your teeth. It'll leave you breathless. Breath of a Salesman. But that didn't work either. So finally, the children took Halitosis to a carnival. They hoped that Hallie would lose her breath on the speedy roller coaster. Ha ha! Look at that. You'll lose your breath on our roller coaster. You think that's going to happen, boys and girls? You think that solution is going to take Hallie's bad breath away? Ah! My goodness, I don't think so. It doesn't look like it from the looks of this picture. That idea stunk too. The plans to change Hallie's bad breath had all failed. Now only a miracle could save Halitosis. Sadly, the three friends said goodnight, unaware that a miracle was just on the horizon. If you look very closely, you'll notice something in this picture. Can you make a prediction of what's going to happen? What do you see in the window or outside the window? That's right, it looks like two robbers, doesn't it? Burglars. Later that night, when everyone was sound asleep, two sneaky burglars crept into the Tosses house. The two burglars were tiptoeing through the dark, quiet room when suddenly they came upon Halitosis. "Yikes!" whispered one burglar. "It's a big, mean, scary dog." "Ah, don't be silly," whispered the other burglar. "That's only a cute little fuzzy wubbly puppy." Yeah, he doesn't look very scary at all, does he? His tongue is hanging out. Boys and girls, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Halitosis' bad breath is going to scare the burglars away? Let's find out. The two burglars giggled at the sight of such a friendly little dog. "That dog couldn't hurt a fly," whispered one burglar. "Come here, Poochie Poo," whispered the other. So Halitosis came over, and Halitosis gave the burglars a nice big kiss. Oh my goodness, look at their faces. What's coming out of Halitosis' mouth? Her bad breath, that's right. The next morning, the Tosses family awoke to find two burglars passed out cold on their living room floor. Hallie's breath made them pass out. It stunk that bad. I guess that was the miracle. The Tosses family got a big reward for turning in the crooks, and soon Halitosis was the most famous crime-fighting dog in the country. Now, take a look at all these headlines. Tabloid Times, mutant space dog captures Elvis clones. That's not very true or accurate, is it? Pittsburgh Press, panting pooch paralyzes prowlers. That's cute too. Boston Beagle, bad breath bungles burglary. All these newspapers are making a play on words, aren't they, boys and girls? The Houston Herald, hero hound halts hoodlums. Ravenna Review, rancid respirations restrain robbers. These are all great plays on words. None of them are accurate, I guess you could say, but that's the media for you. In the end, Mr. and Mrs. Tosses changed their minds about finding a new home for Hallie. They decided to keep their wonderful watchdog after all. This home is protected by dog breath. Because life without Halitosis just wouldn't make any sense. That's it, boys and girls, for today's story. I hope you enjoyed Dog Breath by Dav Pilkey. Until next time.